Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Guess what day it is? Huh? Anybody? Julie, hey, guess what day it is? Oh, come on, I know you can hear me. Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Humpday.
Woo-hoo!
That's right.
Woohoo! It's Humpday.
Yes, indeedy.
And if you're traveling through downtown Fort Pierce or somewhere in the area, it's huge traffic jams on US 1 day.
Yes.
They've got Dixie closed, to get set up for the boat show. And it is a mess.
It is a mess. It always a mess when you don't realize how much traffic Dixie Highway transits until you take it out of the equation. Yes.
Yeah, so that won't be open till like Tuesday, I guess. Next Tuesday, because boat shows this weekend.
Right.
And then they got cleanup on Monday. So it's gonna be it's not gonna be fun.
Right. And of course I have to go from North Stewart to the radio station, every afternoon. So I'm right in the thick of it.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes.
Isn't that fun?
It is delightful. Do you want that arrow in your ear or in your eye?
Yeah, really. Where do you want it?
Oh.
So anyway, it's nice day out. Weather's been pretty pleasant the last couple of days.
40-ish when you wake up tomorrow morning.
Ooh, 40-ish.
Yes.
Wow.
It'll be a little chilly, so
might have to
dress in layers.
Might have to rethink my
your wardrobe.
My wardrobe, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the nice thing about guys, right? So it's t-shirt, shirt, light jacket, and you're in, right?
Yeah.
And the only option is, shorts or trousers.
Yeah.
Right. And so the jacket comes off. And then if you've got a t-shirt that you can wear as a shirt, you can take the shirt off too, if it gets hot enough in the afternoon. So there's some options, right?
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. It's funny. I always used to make fun of people that wore shorts and then had a jacket on.
Right.
It's like, okay, are you hot or are you cold? You pick one.
Right. Right.
And now I find myself doing that. It's like, I'm one of those people I used to poke fun at.
Yeah. That's the problem with poking fun at people. I've come to realize that the many things that I complain
comes back
about
and bites you.
Baby. It's like, whoa. All right.
Weren't you making fun of that guy a couple of years ago? No, not me.
Not me. No. Must have been somebody else that looks just like me.
Somebody else that looks just like me.
Wow. I know it.
Oh, but so it goes. I went to took my daughter back to college.
Okay.
She goes to Florida Gulf Coast over in Fort Myers.
Right.
And I wasn't able to, I had to order some parts for her car and stuff, so I didn't quite have everything done. So it's like, all right, we'll drive you back. So drove her back over to school and took her over on Saturday and hung out at the school for a while. They had a hockey game.
Nice.
Now you would think, okay, college hockey in Florida, probably not too many. Florida Gulf Coast, they're a Division II school in hockey.
Right.
And they won the Division II championship last year. Yep. And this year, they're pretty darn good, too.
Right.
So it was a lot of fun. There might have been 200 people there to watch the game. It was a lot of fun. We had a really good time. They played University of Delaware, the Blue Hens. And they had played them the night before, and they beat them 10-1. And they beat them Saturday night 7-3. And they should have scored like 15 goals. The goalie I felt bad for the goalie for the other team.
Right.
He had no defensive help. He made how many? He made like 43 saves, I think.
Oh my God.
Because we were about halfway through the third period, and I'm going, he's going to have 50 saves by the time the night's done. He's still going to lose.
Working overtime.
The kid was standing on his head to make some saves.
Wow.
But
too funny.
But that was fun.
Yeah.
Not often you get to watch college hockey. I've never seen a college hockey live, so that was something on
I had an opportunity.
One of those things on my list to get.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I dated a girl back in the 70s who was a sports writer, and so I went to a lot of college hockey games, and I was really impressed with the quality of the play.
Oh, yeah.
And the speed of the game is phenomenal.
Yeah.
You really can't appreciate hockey on TV. You get, I think, when you watch it
Yeah.
real
You can
time,
see the whole
it is
whole
it's
rink,
a whole different thing.
and you get an appreciation for just how fast a game it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty neat. They after the first period, Florida was up 5-0. Gulf Coast was up 5-0. And the way the arena sits, it's a small arena, and there's seating only on one side. And it almost looks it kind of feels like a high school gymnasium the way it's set up. And the locker rooms are underneath the stands. So the players have to come out and walk in, and they're within maybe 20 feet of one another. And there were kind of, there was a little bit of yapping going on between periods and we're sitting in the front row. So I'm just kind of leaning over and I'm watching and I'm looking, and one of the guys for Delaware looks up at me and he goes, "What, old man?" And I'm like, "Oh, really? You're going to go there?" I looked at him. I went, "Old man, yeah, I could probably score on you right now. You're losing 5-0 to a bunch of kids that sleep under palm trees." And the one coach for their team started laughing. It's like, "Oh, really? You want to get heckled all game? I will heckle you all game now."
Whoops.
At one point we thought we might get thrown out because there was a fight in the second period, and
on the ice.
Right. My daughter asked me, she asked me earlier in the game, do they fight in I said, yeah, they'll fight in college, but it's not like the pros.
Yeah.
If you fight in college, you're out. You're done. They throw you out of the game.
Right.
I said, so sure enough, there was a fight. They threw him out of the game.
Right.
And the guy that got in the fight for Delaware was the guy that had made a comment to me earlier. So as he's walking towards
sheepishly,
as he's walking towards the locker room, he's just kind of looking down. And he's saying something to the guy on the
ice
on the Florida team that was thrown out too,
right?
Because they were both heading to the locker room, and he was kind of jawing at him, and I'm kind of looking down, and he looks up at me, and he just keeps looking at me, and he goes, "What?" And I just took my hand and I waved. I went, "Bye-bye." well, somebody else, one of their managers or coaches or somebody on their team got mad, went and got the security guy and was pointing me out to the security guy. So the security guy comes down and he looks at me and he goes, what's he having a fit about? So we told him, we waved bye-bye to him, and he looks and he starts laughing. He goes, "He wants you thrown out for that?" He's like, "No." He just turned around, looked at the guy, and shook his head like, "No, that's not happening."
No. You got to give me a reason. That does not qualify.
Did he throw something at you? Did he?
No expletives.
No, he didn't even say anything. He just waved. Bye-bye. Grab a Snickers bar, get on the bus. You're done. But anyway.
Oh my God, too funny.
So that was fun. I definitely want to go over and watch another game. That was a lot of fun.
What is the common expression with the NHL? Is I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out.
yeah. I went to a fight and a hockey game broke out. Yeah. But at that time I could see why they were getting a little chippy, because they had gotten beat 10-1 the night before, and they were getting beat down pretty bad in this game. So it's like, they're not having a good day.
Yeah.
They didn't have a good trip to Florida, at least hockey wise.
It's amazing how the skill level of Florida kids for winter sports.
Mm-hmm.
I was when I was dating my first wife, we were members of the Young Republicans YR, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that was an excuse to go skiing and take on drinking as a hobby too.
Skiing and drinking.
Well, yeah, you would,
and
drink,
hot tubbing. Don't forget hot tubbing.
Right. So you would ski from the lift to like the halfway point, and then there's like a halfway house there for drinkers, and you would stumble.
Well, you got to warm up.
Then you would stumble on to the bottom of the hill. But a lot of these people would sign up for these ski trips.
Mm-hmm.
And the ski clubs, right? So the Young Republicans also, they kind of sister clubbed with the local ski club in Detroit, okay? And they would go to all these exotic resorts for ski outings, right?
Okay.
And the folks that would come up from Miami, Dade County, and Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
They have a big this biggest ski club in the world is out of Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
Go figure.
Yeah.
And they're avid skiers. They are serious skiers.
That's pretty
The folks up north, not so much. No.
No. They dabble in it. Well, I would think if you live in Fort Lauderdale and you ski, there's got to be a really good reason why you want to go up and ski.
Yeah.
It's not just like, like here you might decide, I would bet there's probably better golfers recreational wise in Michigan than there are in Florida, because when they finally get to play, they take it pretty serious.
They do. They get out there and play whenever they can. They'll even play under the less than stellar conditions because they want to get that game in.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. That's where they came up with colored golf balls.
Is that why?
I think so.
Well, I'm sure it wasn't for the fall when all the leaves are on the ground. You ever try to find an orange golf ball in the leaves on the ground in the fall up north?
As they say,
it doesn't happen
in New Jersey. Forget about
it. Exactly. No. Well, they were playing golf where they didn't have to worry about leaves falling on the ground or some snow or anything like that. The 2019 kicked off with the Century Tournament of Champions in Maui.
All right.
Not a bad place to go if you're, heck, I would bet a lot of people would just go watch. If I had the money, it would be a great place to go. And if I lived up in snowed in Maine or Rhode Island, I think, wow, I could go to Maui and watch golf. Yeah, that'd work. But Xander Schauffele shot a course record tying 11 under par 62. On the Plantation course on Sunday to win his 4th PGA title. In the past 18 months, this young man has gone from just being a guy with an odd name on the PGA Tour to he's one of the top players now. I mean, he played in the final pairing at the British Open, played on the Ryder Cup team. I mean, this kid's got a lot going for him. He really, really does.
Wow, 62.
Shot a 62. And that course is really neat. I mean, Arlen's not here tonight. They took the son George out to Alabama. I guess there are people that go there intentionally to Alabama. You actually choose to go to Alabama.
I got to play the Deliverance song for him when he comes back.
But yeah, George is going to Jacksonville State, which is interesting. You hear Jacksonville State and you immediately think, well, that must be up northeast corner of Florida. But no, it's not. It's in Alabama somewhere.
Right. Whoops.
But was following him a little bit on saw his Facebook posts and his Instagram stuff, and looks like a pretty cool college, neat program. Got a nice little stadium to play in, and so that'll be good exposure for George. George he's a good kid, and he's a pretty darn good defensive tackle is where he plays on the defensive line, and
cool.
Be nice to someday see him.
Yeah.
Maybe in a big program, or maybe playing on Sunday somewhere in the NFL. That'd be pretty neat. I could say I knew him when.
I knew him when. Yes.
I knew him when he was about this tall. Just a chubby little Hawaiian kid.
Right. Right.
But they started, all the new rules went into effect, and as you know, in Hawaii you get a lot of wind in Hawaii. Mm-hmm. And one of the new rules is that if your ball, let's say you mark your ball on the green, you pick it up, you clean it, you hand it to your caddy, he gives it back to you, put it down on the green, you pick your marker up from behind it, and now you're going to play. Used to be, if the ball then moved, let's say the wind moved it, and wind was blowing hard enough and it blew off the green or down the hill or something like that, you pretty much had to play it from there, because it's where it wound up.
Right.
Even though you didn't hit it, you didn't even try to make it move, but the wind blew it. Well, now you can put it back where it was. So apparently they had a few instances of that in Hawaii because of the strong winds that were blowing. So they put that into effect. What's interesting is anytime these guys get a ruling they don't like to make the ruling themselves. I mean,
Right.
they know the rules. They're very versed in the rule. I mean, it's their job, and they know what they should do.
Right.
But there's always an outside chance that, you're human. You misinterpreted it, or you just chose poorly, or you did something incorrect.
Yeah.
And if you do that, and it found out that, yep, you shouldn't have done it that way, you should have done it this other way, then you get penalized. So it might cost you a stroke, or in some cases 2 strokes. Fortunately, they've gotten rid of the rule now where once you sign your scorecard, that's your score. And if it finds out a day later that you had a penalty, then you get disqualified because you turned in a scorecard that wasn't accurate. But they've since done away with that because there was a lot of that going on, and they decided, no, we'll just add that to your score, and you'll have a higher score when you start your next round.
All right.
Okay. But so what they like to do is you wait for a rules official.
Yeah.
Rules official comes over, and if he's completely wrong, but that's what he told you to do, it's okay. It's not your fault. You played it from where you were told by the rules official. There's no penalty. So as a result, when they had some weird stuff going on that they were like, well, I think the new rule applies here, they'd call over a rules official. So a couple times they had as long as a 10-minute wait while they discussed what it was they were going to do, how to take the proper relief now, and so on and so on. So one of the other things that they were talking about was, okay, now you're supposed to drop the ball now from knee height, which if you're pretty much standing straight up, your arms are right about knee height or a little above it. And so then it became, all right, well, what if the guy decides to squat a little bit? Is it, do you have to stand in a normal position and then from knee height, or can you squat and drop it from knee height there? Or it's like, oh man, now we're really hunting for something. So
what if one player's got longer arms than another player?
Yeah.
It's like the options are endless.
Yeah. And earlier in the day, the tour officials and USGA officials had an information session with all the players. They wanted to answer any questions about how the new rules would be applied. There was a big brand new poster in the locker room that said, these are the areas that the rules now affect. Like on this area over here that used to be this type of a hazard, it's now this. And instead of dropping it like last year, if we'd have played 2 weeks ago, you would have had to go all the way back along this line and drop over here. But now you can drop it right over here.
Nice.
So they had it's going to take, there's going to be a little bit of growing phase, so to speak, I guess, with the players and even the officials, to figure out exactly how everything's supposed to go. But our boy Bryson DeChambeau was putting with the flagstick in. Decided that made sense to him.
Right.
He had set all his testing and everything else.
Because he's the geek of the course.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He's the savant, I guess, if you will.
Okay.
the golf savant.
Well, better to be a golf savant than an idiot
savant, I guess. Yeah,
I agree.
Mark Leishman hit his second shot to within a foot of the hole on the 5th hole, which left him a tap-in eagle putt. He was worried about it hitting the pin and bouncing out. But he decided to leave the pin in just because it was going to be quicker, because his ball was right next to the hole. And then the more he thought about it, the more he thought, it'd be just my luck. I'll hit it. It'll hit the pin and it won't fall in, or something will happen.
Just my luck.
Yeah. The first rules infraction of the new year happened on Friday. Dustin Johnson played the wrong ball from a penalty area.
Oh, God.
Now it's now called a penalty area. There's no such thing as a hazard anymore.
Oh.
So you can't call a lake a water hazard. You can't call, a preserve area,
right?
A hazard of any. No, they're all
trap.
They're all called penalty areas now.
Even the sand.
Even the sand areas are considered penalty areas now.
Okay.
Well, you're still not allowed to play the wrong ball
Yeah.
So, regardless, so he got a 2-stroke penalty for
I
that.
guess so. Now, what happens when they do that? Do they bring it back to the original place and then do a do-over or with a 2-stroke penalty?
Well, obviously, okay, he's hit the wrong ball,
right.
and which is
So they have to bring it back so the guy can hit the correct ball, right?
yes, correct. Yeah. You now have to bring, which is why if you notice, golf balls are numbered.
Yeah.
You've got the brand, and then you got a number on it. Well, what happens if you and I are playing the same brand with the same number on it, and we both hit it into the same little area, and it was over a hill maybe, and we get down there? Well, I don't know which one's mine and which one's yours.
Right.
Which is why the pros and most amateurs do it as well. You mark the ball.
Yeah.
You put a orange dot on it, or you put your initial on it, or you do
Smiley
something, or you
face.
draw a smiley face on it.
Something.
Our late friend Mike Murphy used to put a green circle around the number. That was his Irish. That was his little bit of
Right.
Irish in him.
Cool.
He put a green circle around the number. So anytime you saw a ball with a green circle around the number and you were playing with him, Mike, your ball's right here.
Yeah.
So that was his way of being able to do it, because you have to be able to identify your ball, because technically, if you and I got down there and we both had the same ball and had the same name, the same brand, the same number on it, and we couldn't identify which one was mine and which one was yours, well, guess what? It's considered lost. It's not like, well, just pick one and hit it. No, it's lost. That's a lost ball. It's going to cost you a penalty. And now you've got to play as if you couldn't find your ball. So that's how you got to take your new drop. So that's the other reason for it, because if you can't identify it, like you'll see guys on tour, they'll hit a ball in a tree and it'll get stuck in a tree.
Nothing you can do about that.
Well, I see it. I can see it. Is it yours? Well, I can't really see my mark on it. And somebody will climb up the tree
And identify
to
the
retrieve the ball
Hmm.
so that they know whether it's his or not. I've seen instances on Florida courses where there's 4 or 5 balls in a palm tree.
ball. Oh, easily.
Well, which one's yours? I mean, it is one of those yours. I don't know. I remember one year we were playing at Ballantrae over here in over by Club Med, and there was maintenance was doing something on one of the holes, and they had knocked over, well, I guess one of the palm trees that was rotting around the base or something or other, and it was off to the right side of the fairway, and they knocked the tree over. Well, when they knocked it over, no less than a dozen or more golf balls fell out and kind of rolled out into the fairway. We're playing the hole, and I'm looking, I'm going, what are all these balls in the fairway from? And one of the guys, they go, oh, they all came out of that tree we had to take down. Help yourselves if you want some balls or whatever. It was like, I'll give you an idea.
God.
I mean, those things eat them alive. I mean,
Oh, I guess so.
palm trees will just do it. So, one of the things Shambo had a problem with was he doesn't like the new rule of you drop it from knee height. He says it ought to be you can drop it anywhere from knee height to shoulder height. Because what if your arms are short? Then you got to squat to get down so your arm's low enough to drop it by your knee. Okay, well, now you're low. Now your knee's lower than it should have been because it's no longer at knee height when you're standing. So is that going to be a penalty? And I thought, you know what? I'd never really thought about that, but that's an interesting, and that's how this kid's mind works. But I mean, it's an interesting idea. It's like, okay,
He's exactly right.
yeah. How do you address that?
Right.
So who knows? But like I said, it's going to be interesting to see
How all those rules changes
how it all comes out in the wash eventually.
Wow. All right.
Well, we're going to take a break.
Indeed.
Hey, I hear the music. It's
Yes.
time to take a break.
All righty. Give us a call at
Yeah.
220-9788 if you want to be a part of this show. And,
Yeah, we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, and if you have a golf question, a ball question, any kind of
A
question.
rules question?
Yes.
Yeah.
Bring it to us.
Hit it, find it, hit it again. That's my theory.
Okay. We'll be right back. All right, so this is in honor of George,
Uh-huh.
Arlen's son.
Son, stay away from banjos.
I love
No, to ask you about it.
Yes.
Oh, God.
And
If you go to a party and you hear banjos playing, run away.
go very fast. And don't get into any canoes.
Exactly. Unless you got Burt Reynolds with you.
Yeah. Yeah, Burt Reynolds isn't doing too well these days.
No.
No. Bless his heart.
I'm still sad about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dang it. Well, yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
the European Tour, I guess the European PGA Tour, they named their Ryder Cup captain for 2020.
Okay.
It is no less than Padraig Harrington.
Well,
That could be interesting. I'm wondering if some of the guys are going to need like an interpreter when he tells them what it is he wants them to do, because I'm serious. I've talked to all these guys on tour, and Padraig literally, there's a couple times where he's talking to me and I'm looking at him going, I have no clue what this man just said. You're trying to write it down. You're like, never mind. I just won't quote him.
next time you need to record it, maybe play it back at a slower speed or something.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
He has a very, very,
Very
thick, thick Irish accent,
Yes.
but very good player.
Okay.
Um,
Father Murphy, Father Noel, actually from
Mm-hmm.
St. Joseph's, he's from Ireland. So perhaps, if you ever get any,
maybe I'll take him with me.
Well, he could decode it if you record any of the interviews,
Yeah. Oh, why did you bring this Catholic priest? I need an interpreter for you, Padraig. He's going to tell me just what it is you just said.
I think that could work out.
You never know.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. So congratulations to Padraig.
Indeed.
I like Padraig. He's one
He's a good guy.
one of the good guys on tour. Well, teen amateur Lucy Lee has appeared in an ad for Apple Watch. Now, this is causing
Oh,
a little bit of a stir because of her amateur status. Obviously, you cannot be a paid athlete. You can't be paid for your athleticism, I guess would be the word for it.
okay. All right.
And basically, the reason Apple has her in their ad is because she's one of the best amateur golfers. So this is going to be a little bit of could be interesting. We'll have to see what happens with that. I don't see a problem with it. I mean, she's not getting paid to play golf, and she's, I guess you could consider it an endorsement contract, but how many college players don't exactly get an endorsement for a shoe contract, but the college does, so they kind of reap the benefits of it. So how is that any different, right?
Right.
Oh, well, we'll have to see. Let's see here. What other fun stuff? Oh, let's see. What else in golf? Yeah, she's 16 years old from California. Qualified in 2014 for the U.S. Women's Open at the age of 11. At age of 11. Wow. It says, last Friday, someone at the USGA saw the ad for Apple Watch, part of the company's Close Your Rings campaign. One of the features of the new watch is a color-coded 3-ring system that monitors the wearer's movement as you stand, move, and exercise. The rings tally your actions. The objective is to move enough to close all 3 rings every day. Kind of,
Okay.
stay active, stay moving, exercise. Don't just sit there and play on your phone all day long. To advertise that feature, Apple developed a campaign with active watch wearers. They include a yoga instructor from Tokyo, an orchestra instructor who also bikes and lifts weights, and 2 recognizable athletes. They are U.S. Olympic swimmer Haley Anderson and Lee.
Oh, okay.
She's shown in the ad hitting shots, working out, practicing her swing in a swimming pool, all while wearing her Apple Watch. No one from the USGA knew about the ads. The American Junior Golf Association's executive director, Stephen Hamblin, was also caught off guard and has reached out to LPGA Commissioner Michael Wan to ask if Lee was turning pro. Wan responded, "That would be news to me." All the sports agents I reached out that all the sports agents that were reached during the weekend said they were in the dark as well. Rule 6.2 of the USGA's rules for amateur status reads: an amateur golfer of golf skill or reputation must not use that skill or reputation to obtain payment, compensation, personal benefit, or any financial gain directly or indirectly for promoting, advertising, or selling anything,
That was definitely written by a lawyer.
or allowing his name or likeness to be used by a third party for the promotion
Right.
or advertisement or sale of anything. So I guess by the letter of the rule, she has broken that. It says in the context of the rule, even if no payment or compensation is received,
Mhm.
the amateur golfer is deemed to have received personal benefit by the promotion, advertising, or selling, and allowing his or her name or likeness to be used by a third party. Lee's mother told Golf Digest that the teenager was not paid by Apple. However, as the rule is written, that's completely irrelevant. Assuming she intends to remain an amateur, she is without question a golfer of skill and reputation
Right.
who received a personal benefit by becoming one of the faces of a $700 billion company. That could be trouble.
That could get ugly. Yeah. Wow.
So what does the USGA do about this? The USGA said in a statement on Saturday that they were made aware of this and have reached out to Lucy's family to learn more about her participation in the videos, beginning a fact-finding stage. It's premature at this point to discuss this any further. Lucy and her family have been fully cooperative and are thankful for the dialogue. Dialogue or not, you broke the rules.
Wow.
And it wasn't really kind of innocent either. I mean,
Yeah.
because you had to basically go to Apple or they had to come to you. So obviously somebody was contacted by somebody with regard to doing this.
Yeah.
Sheesh. I mean, obviously you're assuming a lot of, naivete, but still,
They say
they are the rules, and
ignorance of the law is no excuse.
Yeah.
And I would imagine ignorance of the rules are no
Yeah.
excuse.
yeah. So now that now the USGA is kind of in a tight spot because
Right.
she's one of the best amateur players in the country, and you want to be able to.
So playing this string through,
Mhm.
she loses her amateur status as a result of this.
Yeah,
Does she just turned pro and then changes tours, or
I guess she'd have to turn pro. I mean, she obviously could no longer attend, could no longer go to college on a scholarship and
Right.
play on the college golf team because she's considered to have. I mean, she could. I guess she would lose it, and then after a certain waiting period, she could reapply to have her amateur status reinstated.
Wow,
This could be
it could be ugly.
really interesting. And then you've got the bigger issue of, okay, now how are the attorneys going to turn all this?
Right.
I mean, or is she going to get an attorney that's going to say, "Oh my God, look at these stuffy, snobby, blue jacket wearing,
Right.
upper crusty people
Yes.
picking on this poor little
Thurston Howell the third.
16-year-old Asian American girl from California."
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's going to be tough. I'm glad I'm not in the middle of that.
Right. Let's check in with our guys that are on 15. See what's going on. See if they're near the hazard.
Oh, they might be.
They
No,
could be.
no, it's not a hazard. It's a penalty area now.
Oh, penalty area. Okay, so they are currently lined up in a penalty area.
Yeah.
130 yards now.
Bill's got a very tough lie here.
Looks like we have some sort of sea monster in the water hazard here.
I believe that's a kraken, Bruce.
It looks like he's going to go with the 9-iron. That may not be enough club.
Well, he's definitely going to lose a stroke on this hole.
.302 V8 and bold, racy hood stripes. Or maybe it's just the original idea, the better idea called Mustang.
All right, so it's on this date, and I'm doing this without my glasses on too. Anyways, it was I think I want to say 1928. Ford reached the 1 billion mark.
1 billion cars.
No, dollars.
Oh, dollars.
I think so.
Wow. That's a lot of dollar bills, man.
Yeah.
Unless you're looking at the national debt,
Yeah.
in which case it's
Yeah. In 1924, Ford Motor Company's stock was valued at nearly $1 billion.
$1 billion. Say that with your pinky.
Oh, with the pinky,
With the
like
pinky
that.
in it. 100 million. I like that when he comes out of the frozen state and Dr. Evil says $1 million. And they're all like, okay.
I've got that video. We were watching it on.
This is some of my favorite movies.
I've got it on videotape, and I was watching it on my old VCR because my wife and I were in the guest bedroom cleaning it out and moved the VCR from. Anyways, we set it up in the guest bedroom in case we ever have company or grandkids come over, So, anyways, I plugged in this movie. Oh, it was too funny. That's great.
Yeah, that's always fun. Yeah, I had somebody just the other day was asking me, what are your favorite movies? What I was like, well, I like Austin Powers.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, really? I like Caddyshack.
Yes.
Okay, I'm starting to see a trend here. I'm like, I like Dodgeball. I'm like, okay. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Right. How about the golf one?
Caddyshack.
No, yeah, the guy was the hockey player that played the golf.
Oh, Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah,
Yes,
Happy
that's
Gilmore.
got to be on your top.
That's
right?
in my list. Yep.
Yeah.
It was like, okay. I mean, there's so many lines from those movies.
Oh God, yeah. Yeah, they're ubiquitous throughout our culture. I mean, a lot of those lines, and people don't even know where they come from.
Yeah. People say it all the time. Like on the golf course, like, oh, this wouldn't happen at Bushwood, and people look at you, and it's like, it's from Caddyshack. It's one of Ted Knight's lines from Caddyshack.
Yeah.
It's like, have you ever seen Dodgeball? Did you ever watch
Yes,
Dodgeball?
of course.
I always like if you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
He has a sack full of wrenches and he dumps it on the gym floor
and just starts throwing it at him.
Yeah, it's like, oh, I'm thinking about all the dents he put in the wood because wood finishing is in my wheelhouse, right? So it's like, oh, this is gonna hurt.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Bing.
The one guy doesn't even move. It takes it right off
and
the
I like
forehead.
that whirling sound they make. The sound effect of
Bing. It hits him right in the head. Yeah, I love that movie.
80% of the audio you hear is synthesized.
It's all synthesized. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Very little of the audio you hear is real.
Yeah. I'm not surprised.
Yeah. It's to make it seem more real.
Exactly.
Yes.
Well, Tiger Woods qualified to play in the Century Tournament of Champions, but did not. Looks like his 2019 debut is going to be at Torrey Pines in 2 weeks, where he's won, I think, more often than anywhere else on the planet. Well, maybe Bay Hill, but so that should be good for him. I don't think he felt like getting on his plane and flying all the way to Hawaii. I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What a bummer.
Well, the PGA Tour is experimenting with mid-round player interviews.
Okay.
You got players mic'd up, and I mean they've been doing it on the Champions Tour.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now they want to do it on the PGA Tour.
All right. Well, they miking up baseball players between innings. So
yeah, but I mean, you're in the golf course, you're walking, you're thinking, you're okay.
Supposed to be in
this
the game,
next.
yeah.
I got and it's so you just broke a window on that guy's house, hitting it out of bounds on the fifth hole. What do you think you need to do here on this hole?
Call my Geico.
Oh, put down that 9-iron. Oh God. Patrick Reed revealed his Masters Champions dinner menu. Sign me up. I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Bone-in ribeyes.
Ooh.
He said he wanted to go with the tomahawk ribeyes.
Right, I've seen those. Those are hilarious.
It looks like something out of the Flintstones.
It does.
But he said that he was afraid they wouldn't fit on the table.
They wouldn't.
On the with the plates and tables that Augusta had available, they probably wouldn't fit.
No, I agree.
So you've got bone-in ribeye, mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Some potatoes, some corn, creamed corn. He says he's also going to have a lighter side if he's also going to have some sort of chicken, as well as a seafood entree for those that prefer.
Okay.
And he says my whole idea is to try to please everybody. He goes,
All
these are all the past champions. He says this dinner is for them, not for me. I just happen to be the one that gets to host it. So I thought that was
Very cool.
that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
If you missed the Tiger Phil match
You didn't miss anything.
in over Thanksgiving,
They're going to play it again.
have no fear.
Oh God,
There's
it's back.
the agents are talking about it. It may be back. There's no deal yet, but they're in negotiations.
Oh my
So
God.
we may get Tiger Phil Pardue. Oh. Do you have any tattoos, Frank?
No.
No, me neither. I've dabbled in wanting.
I broke a
One,
piece
but-
of graphite
never-
into my finger once. I don't know if that counts.
No,
No,
that doesn't count.
okay.
No. And the little ones you had as a kid that you'd wet your arm and you'd stick it on and hold it on there and then pull it off and go, oh man, that's cool. and then it disappeared,
Right.
flaked and fell off within a few hours.
Right.
Well, Thomas Bjorn, who was the captain of the European Ryder Cup team for the Ryder Cup this past
Right.
September,
Mhm.
he made a promise to his team, to his squad,
Uh-oh.
that if they won,
Uh-oh.
he would get a tattoo.
Uh-oh.
So his tattoo, which was placed somewhere on his backside,
Oh, jeez.
amounted to the Ryder Cup trophy,
Okay.
or the Ryder Cup, with the final score of the matches, which
Oh
I
my.
believe was 17-11,
Oh my God.
tattooed
Oh,
on
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 his
him.
backside.
his backside. So
Oh God.
hey, at least he doesn't have to look at it.
Well, now, all right. No, that was.
Oh, come on. Why not?
Should do it backwards so you can look at it in the mirror.
Yeah, really.
Right.
Why is it backwards? Well, it's kind of like ambulance on the front of the ambulance. The Golf Writers Association of America voted Brooks Koepka, Araya Juntengarn, and Bernhard Langer
Mm,
the 2018 Male, Female, and Senior Players of the Year.
mm.
Yay! Congratulations. Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Let's see. What do we got? A couple more minutes
Yeah.
left. Biggest off-season equipment move was made by
actually-
Justin Rose.
We had only a minute left.
A minute.
Yeah.
He's jumped to Hanma, which is probably the highest priced Japanese clubs on the market. And something I'm looking forward to when I go up to the PJ Merchandise Show. Some company just introduced $1,200 a piece golf shafts.
Wow. Space age stuff.
They got some sort of a new way to make them, and it's going to be interesting to see. But I'm interested. Just boy, the proof's in the pudding, man. They better play. They better be amazing
I'll
for
say.
$1,200 a pop. Good night, everybody. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Alrighty.